Letter E, Washington's foreign policy. So not only was George Washington dealing with a lot of domestic issues, which means things that are happening in the United States, but he also had a lot of foreign issues that he had to deal with countries outside of the United States. So first we're going to start with number one, problems with France. So where France is in history is they're actually undergoing their own revolution. They've chopped off their king and their queen's heads, and they're revolting against a lot of the ideals that had been going on in their country. Now, during this time, France is also going to declare war on England. So this kind of puts us in a tough spot. These are two countries that we've both worked with before, and they are now fighting against each other, and now we are kind of the odd one out. So, of course, France looks to us and says, hey, wouldn't you like to team up with us and help us beat England? We came during the American Revolution with Marquis de Lafayette and many other citizens. We came and brought you ships. We came and we helped you out. Wouldn't it make sense for you to come help us? But that's not who George Washington was. So George Washington is actually going to issue something called the Proclamation of Neutrality. Neutral means not taking sides in a conflict. So Washington says, you know what, I understand what you're saying, but I do not want to partake in any of this war. We've had enough wars. We're trying to get out of debt. We've got other issues we need to deal with. And so he's actually not going to take a side. This is going to make both the French and the British very upset with us because they felt like they both had a reason why we should come and help them out. So what the British are actually going to do is called impress American sailors. And no, this is not like when you try to impress somebody or look cute. Impress means to kidnap. So they said, fine, if you're going to make it so that you're not picking sides and you won't let people join the war, we'll just kidnap people and make them join the war. Well, that's going to infuriate Washington because he's saying, no, we're trying to stay out of your conflict and you keep bringing us back in. So we're going to establish something called the Jay's Treaty. And what this does is it says England needs to leave us alone. You know, it doesn't really necessarily acknowledge the kidnapping, but it's understood that that should stop. And not too many people liked it because they kind of wanted to join the war, but Washington was very firm that we were not going to partake in this conflict. Now, Spain is getting a little worried that we're getting a little too close to England, and they don't want us to also get into a conflict with them as well. So we're going to enter into a treaty with Spain called Pinckney's Treaty. And what this does is it actually allows us as Americans to travel along the Mississippi River because on the other side of the Mississippi was Spanish territory, and it also allows us to use the port city, which means it's right by the ocean, of New Orleans, which means we can increase our trade and we can increase money so that we can help pay off our debt. So that was a good treaty that worked in our favor.